Hello and welcome to Vin Yin. My name is Becky. We will be working today on hips, low back, and outer thighs for release of tension. Begin on your mat and ensure that you have your mats laid out like you see mine with a block on each end. As you recline back, take your block into hand, take a block into hand. Slide your feet onto your mat. Lift your hips up. Slide the block between your tailbone and your waistband. Shift the block around until you feel that your body is completely supported. The block is not digging into your low back. Adjust your shoulders so that they feel flat on your mat. Turn your palms open in a gesture of surrender. Close your eyes. Bring your knees together. Walk your feet farther apart. Inhale deeply. Notice how your body relaxes naturally as you exhale. Soften your brow, the space between your eyes, your jaw, throat, and shoulders. Inhale expansively. Observe the tone of your nervous system. How do you feel today? The teachings of yoga remind us there's a dance of energy in your life. There are days that you have plenty of energy and days that you have none. And then there are the days where everything just feels good. That is the interplay of the gunas at work. And the gunas infuse all of life, the entire universe. Again, a dance. Notice your energy at this time and tap in to the energy you need for a few breaths, just a few breaths. Slowly coming back to awareness, wiggle your fingers, bring your knees apart, walk your feet toward center. Raise your arms up to the sky, spread your fingers wide. Feel the stretch between each finger and the muscles behind your hands. Notice this is the anti-grasp. Visualize reaching up to the heavens and taking in the energy you need to balance out your nervous system. Inhale that in. Exhale, bring your hands onto your heart space. Seal that in for practice. Bring your palms onto the ground. Take a breath in. Tone your belly, bring right knee to your chest, hug it in, and then left knee. Rock gently side to side, feel the edge of the block. Massage your iliac crest, the top of your pelvic bowl. There's a lot of connective tissue there that can get bunched up. And it's also a connection point for two important muscles in your low back. So notice if you feel any tenderness here. Come center, open your knees wider, happy baby, flex your ankles, the soles of your feet facing the sky. Take your hands behind your knees if happy baby is new to you, and continue rocking side to side. You can feel the edge of the block going into a deeper part on the outer hip. You may feel even more sensation there as you rock to the side. It's right where the corner of the block will hit. Hold. Bring your knees together. Hug them in a little closer. Release right foot down. Release left foot down. Lift your hips off the block. Slide the block away and place it above your head off your mat. Hug your right knee to your chest. Keep your left foot flat on your mat. Curl your forehead up towards your knee. Lie back. Cross your ankle on your thigh. Keep your hands on the floor. Press your knee away using no hands. Figure 4. Flex through your ankle. Walk your left foot center. Just a little bit more center. Press your hips up to the sky, figure 4 bridge. Lower your hips down. Option, curl your body up. Hug your left thigh towards you. Bring your left foot down. Press your hands into the ground, lift your hips up, figure 4 bridge. Add the curl, lower down. Exhale, curl up. Use your elbow to press your knee away. Flex through both ankles. Getting deeper into the hip on the right side. Continue for 2 more rounds. So using dynamic motion here, dynamic movement, to get a little bit more range of motion in the hip joint, especially on the right. The next time you lift your hips, stay lifted. Straighten your right leg up to the sky. Flex and point through right ankle. Roll your right foot around. Stay lifted, building strength through the left glute. Lower your right foot down. Stay lifted. Lift left foot up. Point and flex through the ankle. Roll your foot around a few times. See how you feel. Building strength through the right glute. Bridge pose is excellent for balancing out any weakness in the posterior chain. Cross your left ankle over right thigh. Drop your hips down to the ground. Without hands, press your knee away. Feel the outer hip engage, the outer rotators. Flex left ankle. Begin lifting your hips up, figure 4 bridge. Adjust your right foot if you need to keep balance. Lower down, optional, curl up. Bring your figure 4 closer to your body, flex through both ankles. About 3 more times, 3 more rounds. Notice that there are differences on this side. Your yoga is a place of union. Yoga means union. And union implies equilibrium, balance. The teachings of the gunas remind us that yes, we do not always feel balanced in energy levels. Some days we feel lethargic. Stay lifted, figure 4 bridge, and then release. Hug your knees to your chest. Roll up to a seat. Face forward, step your feet apart, lean back on your hands. Drop your knees to the right. Drop your knees to the left. Windshield wipers. A couple more times. Notice as you move how your energy level has changed. Keep your knees to the right. Sit tall. Bring your right hand on the ground. Raise left arm up, reach up. Exhale, thread the needle, threading left arm under right, gaze over to your hand. Inhale, lift up. As you practice opening and closing your body in the twist, notice your range of motion. Open up, spread your wing wide, and then when you tuck and thread the needle, drop down just a little bit more, getting into the hip. Let's do that twice more. Exploring range of motion in the hip and also working in trunk mobility. Lift up and release. Walk your hands behind you. Windshield wiper hips and knees side to side. Internally, externally rotating through the hip joint. The next time your knees drop to the left, sit tall, bring your left hand on the ground, spread your right arm open, spread your fingers apart, twist, gaze follows right hand, inhale, open, exhale, twist. Do this a couple more times. Yoga moves prana through your body. That's your life force. And you can feel prana every time you stretch, move, and breathe. Those are endorphins getting released. So good for you. Open wide, lean back. One more set of windshield wipers, just noticing how far your knees are coming down. And the next time your knees drop to the right, move to hands and knees. Hands and knees. All fours, spread your fingers wider than you think you should. Eyes of your elbows facing in. Look back at your knees, bring them hip distance apart. Tuck your tail, tuck your chin to your chest. Press your back up to the sky. Exaggerate the rounding in cat. Inhale, lift your tail, lift your gaze. Exaggerate the lift. Feel the stretch in your abdomen. Keeping your elbows straight. Tuck your chin and tail. Lift your tail, lift your gaze. One more set. Come to neutral, press your hips over to the right, back to your heels, over to left. Reverse, hips go back to your heels, over to the right. Side to side motion. It's almost like your tailbone's a pendulum. Swinging side to side. So yoga teachings remind us that the gunas, three gunas, form the basis of all your experience. Press your hips back to your heels, extend your child's pose, walk your hands forward, forehead toward the floor. Rock your body side to side, getting into the shoulders. Inhale, coming up. Tuck your toes, press your hips up, downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide again. If you notice any space or cupping of your fingers, think of pressing the palm down, and this helps stretch out the muscles of your hands, walking out your dog, bending one knee then the other, press one heel down then the other. When one heel goes down, press opposite hand firmly into your mat. It's like this cross-body experience. Wiggle your head, release the tension in your jaw. Gaze forward, tiptoe or hop to the top of your mat. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, palms on your thighs. Wiggle your toes, straighten your elbows, look up, chest forward, lift your tailbone. Lift all 10 toes. Place pinky toes down, then fourth, third, second, keep bigs up. Lower big, lift your bigs, lift and lower just the big toe. Stay lifted, lift second, third, fourth, and pinky. Balance here. Press into the ground without toes. Try to tear the mat apart just with the four corners of your feet. Notice your outer hips engage. Exhale, forward fold. Blood pressure, all better now. Ready for practice. Bend your knees. Press your arms back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Gaze up, taking in your abundance and your blessings. Palms together, hearts Center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach hands behind you, building a strong spine, a lifted heart. Touch the ground, step back to plank. Drop your knees to the ground, untuck your toes. Elbows support your ribs, chaturanga. Inhale, press your chest forward, relax your shoulders down. Gaze over left shoulder, gaze forward, and then over right, back and forth. Moving your hips side to side, getting into the hip flexor. Gaze down, tuck your toes, press to downward dog. Walk your dog, gaze forward, hop or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades together, spread your fingers, exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, sweep your arms back, like you're doing a butterfly stroke. Lift your arms up, interlace your hands above your head. Slide interlaced hands behind your head, press your elbows back, lift your chin, feel the stretch across heart. Look forward, straighten your spine. Side bend to the left. Inhale, lift. Side bend to the right. Keep your chin lifted, back and forth, easy crescent moon variation. Side to side, feels so good. One more time to the right. Inhale, lift a little back bend here, press your elbows back, open your arms to a T, take a bind. Interlacing your hands behind your back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, maybe lift your arms off your back a little more. Gaze down, forward fold. Release the bind. Inhale, come up halfway, reach behind you. Gaze down, step back to plank. Drop your knees down. Kick your heels into your side, into your sits bones. Bend your elbows. Elbows support ribs. Press your chest forward. Look up. Gaze down, tuck your toes, back to down dog. One more round, adding on. Gaze forward, get to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, reach behind. Palms facing down, try to touch pinkies. Good, exhale, forward fold. Standing up, sweep your arms backward like you're creating a big butterfly stroke in the water. Interlace your hands, slide them behind your head. Crescent moon to the left and right. Stand tall, look up. Press your elbows back, feel the stretch across heart center. Gaze forward, palms together, thumbs to heart center. Balance on your left foot. Bring your right knee into your chest. Hug it in, flex your right ankle. Figure 4. Cross right ankle over left knee. Lift your tailbone. Press your hips backward, palms together. Stand up tall, hug your knee in. And reverse. Hug left knee in, stand tall, get your balance. And then take optional figure 4, crossing ankle over thigh. Lift your tailbone, feel the stretch in the left outer hip happen, palms to prayer. Stand tall, hug your left knee in. Release, inhale, sweep your arms back, butterfly stroke, gaze up. Gathering blessings, bhakti devotion as you go down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reach behind, strong spine is a strong heart, look down. Step back to child's pose or complete a vinyasa. Do you ever notice the interplay of your energy throughout the day? How that changes from moment to moment? Tuck your toes. Come up to table, press to downward facing dog. Walk your dog. Lift your right leg up, step right foot forward, warrior 2. In your warrior 2, twist to the right, and then twist to the left. Getting into the hip flexor, so press your back foot very strongly into the ground. Squeeze the mat between your feet. That will help you keep your balance. Looking back, watching the hand that's twisting behind you. Hold your warrior 2. Wiggle your toes. And bring your right elbow on your thigh. Raise your left arm, bicep by your ear. Lift left arm up. Exhale, thread the needle. Left arm under right. Inhale, lift and open. Watch your left hand as it moves. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open. Go as slow as you need to. This is also balance. Stay lifted in side angle. Coming up through warrior two, touch your back thigh. Reverse warrior, bicep by your ear. Take your right hand behind your head. Press your elbow back. And then bring your elbow forward, look at your back foot. Inhale, open. So think of twisting your trunk in this position just as much as is possible. Follow your own range of motion. Stay open in the variation, peaceful. Straighten your leg. Turn your toes forward, open your arms to a T. Bend your right knee. Bend your left knee. Bend right, stay down in the right. Squat. Walk your hands down. Walk your hands forward. Right foot forward, drop your left knee to the ground. Notice your block is nearby. Keep it where it is. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, lift up. Exhale, bring your fingertips down. Take the block on the outside of your right foot. Straighten your right leg. Think of bringing left hand on top of right. Draw your right hip backward. Press your right heel into the ground. Feel this very intense sensation on the side of your leg. That's IT band. Bend your knee. Keep your right hand on the block. Lift left arm up. Exalt. Exhale, straighten your leg. Flex your ankle. Place left hand on top of right. Drive right heel down. Taking a mini twist here. Bend your right knee. Exalt. Lift your left arm up. Walk, gaze up. One more twist in half split. Bend your knee. Walk your hands to the inside of your foot. Tuck your back toes under. Turn your toes to the long side of your mat. Squat to the right, squat to the left. Back and forth in Skandasana, getting into the deep inner thighs. Flex left ankle when it straightens, and then flex right. Back and forth. Come center, squeeze the ground, slowly coming up to standing. 5-pointed star. Gaze up. Flip your palms down, turn your toes to the left. Warrior two. A big twist to the left, a big twist to the right. Back and forth. Notice how your range changes. It doesn't take much for your body to respond to kind, compassionate energy as you practice. Deep breathing, relax shoulders. Stay in your warrior two. Left hand forward, relax your shoulders. Bring left elbow on left thigh. Lift arm up, bring your bicep over your ear, press your right hip forward, slightly feel the stretch in the hip flexor. Raise your right arm up, look up. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, open wide, and thread. Twice more. Try to follow with your eyes the journey of your right hand. Lift up through warrior two. Touch your back thigh. Raise your left arm, bicep by your ear. Slide your hand behind your head. Press your elbow back, gaze to the left. Exhale, twist to the right, gaze to your back foot. Inhale, press elbow back, gaze to left. Gaze to your back foot. A couple more times. Again, getting into the hip flexor and the trunk. Those two work together to create either a painful back or a healthy back. Open arms to a T. Turn your toes forward. Deep squat to the left and to the right. Back and forth. Should feel good. You can probably feel the prana moving through your body, that tingly sensation of blood flow. Turning your toes to the left. Low lunge. Drop your back knee to the ground. Untuck your back toes. Slide the block towards you. Inhale, raise your arms up overhead. Press your hips forward. Feel the stretch through the right hip flexors. Bring your left hand on top of the block. Straighten left leg, flex left ankle. Bring right hand on top of the block. Drive your heel into the ground. Press it down. And then think of dragging your left hip farther backward. You will feel the sensation from hip almost to ankle. Bend your front knee, keep your hand on the block for support, exalt, raising right arm, gaze up, and then flow. So this is a very subtle twist using the sticky mat as a tool to help get into the very often bunched up connective tissue that runs up and down the side of your leg. And notice how you move dynamically, how the energy changes, how your body responds. One more lift. Good. Bring your hands down to the ground. You can keep the block, bring it inside of your foot, walk your left foot out to the side of your mat for dragon. Bring both hands on top of your block. Wiggle your back foot farther backward. Notice if your heel is dropped out or in. See if you can straighten up your heel, maybe taking a peek at your heel. From dragon, walk your foot to the left a little bit more, resting on the outer edge of your foot. In lizard, tilt your knee out to the left. Bend your elbows, tuck your chin, straighten your elbows, lift your gaze. We'll do a couple more of these. Easy outer hip openers. Then you bend, tuck your chin. When you straighten, gaze goes forward. Good, one more time. Flatten out your foot. Come off the block, place the block slightly forward. Tuck your back toes, pyramid pose. Walk your back foot forward. Bring the block to the outside of your foot. Come up halfway. Bring right hand to the block. Kapri Trikonasana, twisted triangle. With your right hand on the block, keep left and right hands on the block for now. If you want, stay right here, bending your knee, or lift left arm out to the side and up to the sky. Press firmly into the block. Think of bringing your left hip farther back and release. Very nice balance, everybody. Bend your front knee. Keep the block off the mat. Skandasana, turning and side squatting to the side. Walk your hands over to the right. Drop your back knees down. Dragon. Bring the block to the inside of your foot, both hands on it. Wiggle your back foot farther back and notice if your heel is dropping in or out. Just indicates tightness that may be happening in your ankle joint, ankles and shins. From dragon, walk your foot out a few inches and tilt your knee so that you're resting on the outer edge of your foot in lizard. You can bring your hands off the block if you would like, bending both elbows, tuck your chin. Straighten both elbows, lift your gaze. A few more times. Walk your foot back to where it was. Bring the block to the outside of your right foot. pyramid pose. Tuck your back toes under, straighten both legs, cross-country ski position. So both feet flat. With your hand on the block on any position, it could be high or low. Bring left hand on top. See how this goes. You can stay right here, or bring left hand all the way in the block. Make sure you're stable and raise right arm up. Maybe gaze up. Draw your right hip back. Lift your heart. If you're shaking, that's great. Those are your stabilizing muscles working hard to keep you in place. Look down. Bring the block forward, step back, and finish out an optional vinyasa or rest in child's pose. Resting in child's pose, optional vinyasa, anything you'd like to do, actually. So yes, three energies at play, from the level of atoms on the atomic level to living beings to the stars, planets, and galaxies. We are all part of the gunas, according to ancient scripture. Pressing back to child's pose, working today on the hips. We'll begin with pigeon pose. So from hands and knees or downward facing dog. Let's begin on right side. You have a block nearby. Drive your knee to the inside of right wrist. Walk your right foot forward, wiggle it forward, externally rotating through the femur bone. Tuck your back toes under and inch your leg farther back. If at this point your sits bone is still off your mat, take the block and slide it underneath. If pigeon is not the pose for you, you can lie on your back and take figure 4 stretch like you practiced in the beginning of class. Coming to your point of sirsasana, effort and ease. The physical purpose for pigeon is to stretch. Most notably, the piriformis, all the outer rotators, but also this gets into right low back. Really nice. You may notice also some opening happening in the outer or distal calf. Begin to change your energy through your breathing. Deep breath in, add the breath hold. Exhale slowly. Use your breath to establish neutral energy. Tamas is the densest of the 3 qualities of energy. You may experience tamas as inertia, inactivity, fear. Tamasic states include laziness, doubt, sadness, hurt, shame, boredom, apathy, ignorance. Inhale deeply. Slowly exhale, notice your body relax. In the yin portion of class, we address connective tissue. Connective tissue takes time, breath, and gravity to release. The whole body is filled with fascial tissue into which your muscles are tucked. And when the myofascial tissue is bunched up, it does not allow for proper muscular glide. This class addresses both muscular and myofascial connective tissue. Take about 5 more breaths. Slowly pressing up. If you're in figure 4 on your back, hug both knees in, maybe happy baby or some knee circles. Come to traditional pigeon, come to all fours. Extend your right leg back, flex through your right ankle, kick your heel in, and think of drawing the biggest knee circles, one direction and then reverse, getting the prana back into the hip joint. You can feel it rushing in. So yes, sattva, stillness, balance, harmony; rajas, movement, activity, agitation; tamas, the densest, experience as inertia, sadness, hurt, shame. Let's talk a little bit about this kind of energy. Press back to child's pose. If you're on your back, cross opposite ankle on top, coming to figure 4. You can also move against the wall, practicing figure 4 against the wall. Everybody else, from hands and knees, slide your left knee to left wrist. Wiggle left foot forward. Walk your back toes and scooch your foot backward. If you notice your hip off the mat, you can take a block and prop your hip up. Slowly coming down to your preferred variation of pigeon, second side. Change your breath. Inhale deeply. Add the kumbhak, the breath hold. Exhale slowly. Continue with Vaisamavritti practice, pranayama. This is helping you to stay in the parasympathetic response, a place of healing, wellness, peace. It's also telling your body to naturally relax. It's just this wonderful closed circle of stimulus and response. Your stimulus is the breath, your response is the body relaxes and releases endorphins and suppresses cortisol or stress hormone. So when your dominant energy is tamas. You may feel dull physically or mentally, even emotionally. You may feel like your mind's obscured. It may even be difficult to think clearly. If you feel yourself overcome by this dominant energy, you may often feel lazy, leaden. It can be a struggle to get things done. States include fear, depression, discouragement. Everything feels like an effort. What describes you today, there is hope. First of all, you've come to your mat, and that has completely shifted your energy. Our teachings remind us, it says, to move away from this state. We need to cultivate a little more rajas. So there's 3, tamas, rajas, and sattva. Rest in your final expression of the pose. Continue practicing Vaisamavritti breath. Inhale deeply. Add the breath hold. Exhale slowly. And slowly pressing up. You're in figure 4. Hug your knee to your chest. Hug both knees in. Happy baby, your knee circles. Everybody else move to hands and knees. Bend your left leg long behind you. Kick your heel into your seat and draw a very big circle with your left knee. One direction and then switch. Yogis are called to a life of discernment. That means constantly observing the tone of your nervous system, your tone of your emotional system, your physical system, mental. Press back to a lifted child's pose. Everybody coming to child's pose, but your head way off the ground. Walk your hands closer to your knees, hips back at your heels. You can stay here. You can go down to the floor in traditional balasana, or sit tall, back on your heels, squeeze your knees together. This is stretching out your ankles and your shins. You can walk your hands behind you, lifting your knees off the ground for ankle stretch. 5 breaths here. Child's pose also is wonderful for ankles. Simply uncup your toes. Relatively press the tops of your feet and ankles into the ground. And release from ankle stretch. Frog. Frog pose gets the internal hip muscles, which is very helpful. Start by rolling up your mat from one end and then roll up the opposite end. This creates a cushion for the medial knee, the inner knee. So notice that your mat rolls are wider than your body. Bring your knees on top of the mat. Your option here would be child's pose. or excuse me, well, wide need, child's pose, but also happy baby. That's a good one too. So from hands and wide knees, flex your ankles, the inside ankle facing the mat. Drop down to your forearms. Think of pressing your hips or tailbone backward. Feel the stretch through the pelvic floor, the inner thigh. Again, if this is too much, happy baby against the wall is a really good option. Wide kneed child's pose, also very good. We'll be here for about 3 minutes. So coming first to your comfortable edge, make sure you can look back and see your toes. Good for alignment. So practically, if you know your energy, your gunas are out of balance, the teachings don't specifically address what to do, but from our practice on the mat today, maybe you've noticed the shift. And so fundamentally, you are called just through your asana to get moving. Even if you don't feel like it, the very best thing you can do is walk to your mat and unroll it. That small habit, a micro habit, can be life-changing for you if you struggle with tamas. So exercising, yes, moving your body shifts your energy and your physiology, which changes your thought and emotional patterns. It's truly the most efficient way to manage sluggish times in your life. Change your breathing. Deep breath in. Add the hold. Exhale slowly. Notice if you're gripping. Let your head go. Let your forehead go. Unhinge your jaw. To come safely out of frog. As you drop your body to the ground, walk your hands forward. Belly comes to the ground, bring your legs together. Press back to child's pose. Coming up to hands and knees, cat-cow practice, or hip circles. And taking a block, sit with a wide leg stance for janu sirsasana practice. Start with the left foot to the inside of the right leg. So right leg out, right ankle flexed. Place the block to the outside of your right ankle. Twist your body to the left, so belly facing knee. And if you need a block underneath your knee to support, take a moment to place your block under your knee. So once you've twisted, straighten your spine, take your right hand to the inside of your leg. Use your hand to turn your body a little bit more open. Feel the twist here a couple of times. Notice that relation of your arm strength, allowing your body to come into position. Raise your left arm up by your ear. As soon as your arm lifts, you're going to notice your body tilting to the right leg. That's exactly what we're going for. If your left sits bone pops up, anchor your sits bone down and come back in. So the dynamic here is pressing your arm to the inside of your leg, raising your arm over your head, maybe bicep by your cheek or your nose, or even over your ear. Every time you inhale, think of lifting your chest. Keep your gaze lifted. As you exhale, your body will naturally come down, maybe in a millimeter, maybe a little bit more. So the target here is the muscles attaching to the iliac crest, your lumbar spine, and your low rib. You're also getting into outer hips and lats, obliques, all the muscles of the side body, the trunk. It's also nice for shoulders. Keep your right ankle flexed. Body will continue dropping down. Feel the hamstrings begin to stretch open. If you can take the bind, wrapping your peace fingers around big toe, lovely, not necessary. Turn your body to face the floor. Walk your body so that it is in alignment with your right leg. Adjust your navel over right leg. Gaze forward, half butterfly. You can take left hand, reach across, taking the outside of your right foot for an extra little stretch, not here for long. Use your breathing. Deep breath in, add the breath hold. And release, slowly coming up. Twist your body to the left, to the right, to the left. And switch. Straighten your left leg, flex through your left ankle. Bring the right foot to the inside of your leg. Again, if you would like, you could take a block underneath your knee or have the block anywhere outside of your left leg. Inhale, sit tall. Take your left hand to the inside of your thigh and use that as a lever to twist your body facing right knee. Slowly, tilt your body to the left every time you exhale. Inhale, think of lifting your heart, belly facing bent knee. Exhale, hand slides down. And when you come to your stopping point, honor it. Raise your right arm up. This adds a little weight. You can bring your bicep near your nose, over your cheek, or maybe over your ear. Every time you inhale, press your arm into your leg. As you exhale, your body will naturally lower down. So yes, get moving. But sometimes you feel so helpless, so discouraged. And fortunately, because you are yogis, shifting out of this mindset is something you're trained to do on the mat. So many times during practice, you may feel that in miniature. And you remember, pause, practice compassion, come back to your breath, and then begin again. Our practice also reminds us garbage in is garbage out. That's includes your thinking, what you read, the music you listen to, the people you're talking to. It also applies to what you are eating and drinking throughout the day. And that's not to be Pollyanna, but that is true. When you eat fresh, whole foods, you feel better. And the science of yoga, the Ayurvedic practices, are a wonderful tool to use if you are struggling in your life with food choices. And we all do at times. If you can take the bind, peace fingers around big toe, feel free to do so. Otherwise, stay where you are for the last 5 breaths. Turn your body to face your left straight leg. Take your right hand across the outside of left foot if you would like. A few deep breaths here and half butterfly with a twist. Slowly coming up. Hug your knees to your chest. Straighten your legs in front of you. Twist to the right. Twist to the left. Notice how you feel. And that truly is a lesson for today. Observing the constant interplay of not only your emotion, mental state, but also your energy levels. So, turning and lying back, you have the 2 blocks. You can use your blocks in Shavasana, maybe elevating your hips again if you like that. If you'd like a little bit more of a back stretch. Otherwise, supine butterfly. Bring the soles of your feet together. Lift your hips off the ground to neutralize low back. Adjust your shoulders so they feel flat on the ground. Now in a position of absolute reception, receiving the abundance that's all around you. Passion, the light, all these things that lift you and elevate you throughout your day. Inhale deeply. Notice how you relax through your shoulders, your brow as you exhale. Shavasana. Slowly come back to awareness. Move knees together. Walk your feet apart. Constructive rest. Lift your hips up and bring your hips down. Hug your knees to your chest. Roll to your side and pause. Press up to a comfortable seat facing forward. And as you sit tall, roll your shoulders around a few times. Notice how your heart lifts as your shoulders drop. Bring your palms together, rest your thumbs on your lifted heart, Anjali Mudra. May the love, light, kindness, and compassion that radiates so abundantly shine out through your lifted yogi heart today. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. I want to thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. I will add to this every week. Please visit yenyoga.com to see fresh content. And thank you so much for visiting. Namaste.